Hello, good evening. So just let someone let me know if you can hear me. I'm not sure if I'm audible, but just let me know if you can, and then we can get on. So just a very quick update, and that's on matters relating to who killed the cops. If you're constantly following issues around, who killed the cops, you would understand that, every episode is now beginning to look like a comedy. And the most interesting thing that had happened today, or the couple of weeks ago, is that the DPP has asked the court to give him time and give him the recordings of everything that Ousainou Bojang had said in court, so that he can go study them enough so when he comes back to court, he's able to ask his questions that might be relevant to the case. Now, even though we know that when DPP is coming to court, he comes to court with 2 extra lawyers whose responsibility is primarily to take notes for the DPP, but yet the DPP could not rely on the notes from his own people and could not rely on everything that Ousainou had said and he heard to actually do his cross-examination, but wanted the court to give him the recordings of everything that Ousainou said, to go take time, read through it and understand it and formulate questions to come to court to do the cross-examination. Funnily, the DPP came to court today with a tape measure. A measuring tape, go, nidara fangol, karal dulat. Ikamol la bayo karamina, ike mezo minna. DPP ni wala nara court bi, akara kasamadole mezo wala. You see the desperado in the government of the Gambia in its attempt at every level. Purka nyinke staka by force lando ke kansa kwete lako nyimbo manku kenyunde ikata measuring tape le kamana iko kana samadole mezo. Hey, where in the world will somebody tell you can use a measuring tape samado mezo wala samadola size long? Alka samado mindung purka police ol fire samado dung court samado mankungala. Ala buroda la samoto acquiring ala buroda la kon na samoto lo nyinte ale mintara wala peron kan ali achika jala buroda la samoto sa alka samoto dun kota samoto dun samoto man kun ala DPP, either you should come to court to actually question this boy about everything he had said. Ita mo wakeno ita ni measuring tape kana court ita ko ka samoto le mezo what. It's not like this is a very serious case that involved the killing of cops, and it should not be a laughing matter. And then we don't feel like we gotta laugh about it. And of course, we can't be watching a brother and a sister actually languishing in jail for 1.5 years, and then we make it look like a comedy. But the DPP is making this whole episode look like a comedy. Director of Public Prosecution of the Republic of the Gambia, you came to court to cross-examine somebody, and you came there with a tape measure, not knowing that you cannot even use a tape measure to know the size of a particular shoe. We have come this is the person that is serving as a DPP in our country. Ite man fenso debe Ousainou nyini nkala minna fokata measuring tape mi alon ko ikana wala fene ko ikasamoto le mezo wala moro akoite la ko ay samoto lungu minna ka samoto dunga man kungala DPP you were in court. Why didn't you question, or why didn't you say let's call an expert to come and examine his feet and then compare it to the shoe? Go and get an expert from a shoe manufacturing company or whatever to come and measure his his feet and then measure it to the shoe. But it ain't that tape measure come and I measuring tape because can asa motole measure wala. For itamu shoe expert let. Ngasa mo dunga man kunna iko hani imalla wala na fasa iko minyanda kala wala nyindi ita samo do measure nyama nyanda samo do la talon buka killing. So how comes you can actually measure a shoe with a measuring tape and determine the size and tell that, oh yeah, it's 11.5 and the other one is 11.5? Does it make any sense? The government of the Gambia is looking very funny in this case. Very, very funny. But because you're doing everything possible to put this criminality on this dude and you are failing at every attempt. Tonya droneka labang, tonya laka bangko samba. Aliye polisol fa tilimbaliani tajintayani jowiani politiko lakang. Albe wakilda wala tala moli alonko mo falal la malti, but you cannot dilly-dally and try to twist it and they do it. After giving you a whole 2 weeks to go and actually, you came back, you still start asking him about his relationship with the white lady. What has that got to do with the case? What has that got to do with determining who killed the cops? You start asking, Charlotte before this other person, this person before this person. What relevance does it have to the case? Oh, did you recognize this photo? Hello, in the Gambia, who does not own a jean? In the Gambia, who does not own a shirt? In the Gambia, who does not own a halftan? But now, let me ask you the question. If I have a white halftan and then you took a photo of me with a white halftan, or you saw a photo of me with a white halftan, what correlation does that make to persons killing the cops? You could not establish this boy's presence at this, point of killing. You cannot even tell that you said the suit that he wore became false, that Alia wol sama dol be chikana wala kor dalakon. You took photos of the dude in their house. Of course, why will he not recognize that? But what relevance does that have to the case? You were supposed to cross-examine, and then you are now bringing photos. But at all police, you and the police at all Natali. So what is the point? You captured me. You said I killed the cops. You took me to my house. You take photos of me. What has that got to do with the killing of the cops? You came to court. You are supposed to ask me on everything the dude had said. You cannot make any important question in relation to what the dude had said. And now you're trying to dilly-dally about, how did you know Mama was taking photos of you? The dude said, I was praying. And when I, Mama was peeping in the room. But this same Mama told you people that the audio is lost. Why didn't you, the DPP, bring the audio to court? Now made a audio feel that. Why? Even for some good love, boy. And then nasa torop boy. Atol kay moro. Alam fo nyo ko nying keral bulla drum. Nying keral bulla ta yang fo dani wande mol yale min la mol batara fati limbalian in tajin tayan in yakon. But the fact of the matter is that kada slow aton the measuring tape on nyina go kana samodola when my court man, a whole DPP, Director of Public Prosecution in our entire country, coming to court with a tape, tape measure, does it make any sense at all? You had the whole time asked the dude on matters related to the killing of the cops. You know basically what to ask and how to ask it. But you will not do that because you know the dude has no hand in it. So you have to dilly-dally, they are completely irrelevant to the case. Where does that leave the government of the Gambia? How does this even make you look as a DPP coming to court with a tape, measuring tape? You can ask measure what? What relevant question has the DPP asked in court today? Absolutely nothing. It had a primary school, a primary 1 to 12. Nigga, I went to primary school, but I started from 4 to 12. And so what? Can you deny that? No. The dude went to school from 4th grade to 12th grade. Can you change that? No. But I told the boy is a rebel. Why do you need to know if he went to school or not? He proved to you that he went to school all the way to 12th grade. But this is the person you told us that is a rebel. Did Salot and the other person, or, whatever person, prior to you going to work at that place, what relevance does that have to the case? What relevance? So at some point, this is making me look like there are two fundamental possibilities. The DPP knows the truth and is very much disinterested in the case. He is compelled to just go ahead with it, and he doesn't know how to go about it, and he's just playing or acting like I don't care, or the DPP does not know and he is just an incompetent person in a position that definitely does not need somebody like him. Those are the two possibilities. But I have to really go ahead with the case, so let me just deal with it cheekily, or let me just don't care about it, or in reality the dude does not know. Those are the two possibilities. But coming to court with a tape measure, what relevance does that have? When the dude talked about, when he was asked by the court to wear the suit, it was in your presence. It did not fit him to a point that the judge was laughing. So if you think that the suit really fit him, why didn't you actually compel him to wear it properly or ask for an expert to be brought to ensure that, wait for other witnesses to come who own some of the materials you pick from the house. Yala wota ne fengo Mario na ranko e kon tel tam ni remote. Yala wota kayo balandata wala. Balandata terla wala. Ntel tam fal ba fal hani ita tan tenkarle tam. Ngana ofana njibe. But the whole point is, it's not even about the Sioux or not the Sioux. Now, who really killed the cops? Tell us. What exactly do you have on this boy to say that he killed the cops? Nothing. You said there was an incriminating audio that you relied on to arrest the dude, but you came to court, you said the incriminating audio is lost. You, DPP, lied to the court that the incriminating audio is lost, which you know that is not true, is a lie. But I'll be all nyaman, I'll be all banko ka yal sam manang Gambia banko din kaito diala doraka tara nyimanya sifala mola banko kam, because you do not care about the well-being of the Gambians. You don't care about justice for the Gambian because you are not a Gambian and you don't care about Gambians. Wala abe all nyama. Will a Gambian go to Nigeria or Cameroon or wherever and become their DPP? Or all bigger Keno Gambia donor because Masakunda Tapale and Kola so the many alonko, they will look for people who would actually do things for them. They are always tools for the state, not really there to deliver justice, but of course to serve as propaganda tools for the government. But there are two things you are exposing here: your complete ignorance of your profession, or your deliberate negligence of doing the right things. Those are just the two possibilities. Tomorrow we'll be back again, and to go on with this kind of cheeky and nonsensical questions. We will ride along with you. But what is evident is that Gambians would just look around and say, you know what? What kind of a government do we have? What kind of human resource capacity do we have? What kind of people run our criminal justice system in our country? It tells a lot, and it reveals a lot. Where does this leave the police force? I told me along I told you be tapaleato tabial natalia be whatever. Where does that leave you? You criminals in our uniform. From top to bottom. Momanda motulaje. Albe mo killing. Tapaleani tilimbaliani joyani hasidiami me police nyaton kolsondo mo kono Gambia banko kanana maje dunia dlat. Allah nyokelo ning, even your subordinates, the level of wickedness towards your subordinates is unimaginable. We know everything that is happening in the force. Ali wala keja wandi pabiru ngali adingo muta moli adingo muta tapale tilimbalo mo kurmo taxi driver ya muta fafanya jawla mi yo fato liyo muta jeki dal ko kanatala. Look, obe kananola nyadil. If you put the guy in a vehicle, allo nalka mol samba police in prison alke do no motol minkon. E ko moto sorom from outside le. So somebody you put in handcuffs inside that vehicle in a cage, oba fon findin no la nyadila fo kana. Ninga atraldo ali adu ni pick up kono dung ni emo mimbulo handcuff. If you put him in the cabin or outside, haniake bantala da maman rasila ji, he's going to be there with somebody. Even if he jumped over, the person will alert the rest of the people that this person jumped over for a quick recatch. Ninga atara dunga besirin cabin or kono fire bunda na fengena the people driving and the people he is with would also know. So okera no nyadi le pabino be woshila duna beta be kumbola ko ali aya dingo fafanya jawla manto nyaso doje. The police did not even come out to tell us earlier because somebody escaped, a mother escaped. They did not say that. They did not remove any communique about the escape of this person until the dad went there to find out about this person who killed his son, just for them to cheekily tell him that, oh no, the person escaped. How? On top of it, the people that were transporting this person never faced the consequences of their negligence. This is the kind of police force we have in our country. This is the kind of police force we have in our country. The people that can criminally connive and kill their junior ones and turn around and make it look like it's the United Democratic Party that killed the police because they were complaining about a Pate Jallo and they ensured they kill another Pate Jallo to make it look like it's a coincidence. And now the DPP came to court with a tape measure to say he's going to measure Ousainou la samara singola kata wole mezo wonyo fanyani ntilimbaliani njo yale bekiri. DJ, you can't be drinking all of these waters. You be picking water from everywhere. Don't do that shit. Come on. Good. Come on. Let me clean your nose. Good girl. How is that even possible? Itoko Canada wala nyama. But Gambia la be nyama pa bi be wasila because ya tele dingo fa. People tend to act like they don't care about it because it did not touch home. That is the life of protectionists. The self-protectionists don't care about the well-being of any other person if not for themselves. Obangu sifa buka tonya so no, there is never going to be accountability because we don't care about it. Olam kuti mimbe soldering. So mbe tonya la fola nunyoe. Abanko tamani ntonya la Mansa Kunda knows everything about the killing of the cops because otherwise moja le fara Gambia ni wadi shutuma bekona. Did they ever put up another 1 million bounty? 1 million bounty ended at the killing of the police. But you know why they had to do that? They had to act like, you know, we so much care about this case. That is how criminals operate. But momi yela mo fa fanga sangadula fanga lo fanga kumbo katambida fangati. This is how the criminal justice system of our country is. Run by mafias and criminals themselves. And they will turn around, come like I'm gonna need, you know, raise a dome, you know. This whole shooting of the police is basically something that's like a replication of what happened to Koro Sise, who was killed by the same people he was working with. And they turn around and come to his, you know, funeral acting as if, you know, yeah, they have any sympathy. No. That is exactly what happened in the killing of the cops because it was a master plan to kill a Patejallo and make it look like it's the UDP complaining about a Patejallo, and then this is a coincidence, and that is why the script was fabricated in that fashion, that the dude works in Brikama Area Council. He is a member of the UDP. He was at the UDP court case in Banjul, and he was there with a gun. He was the dude in hoodie. He was paid to kill. You know, he ran into the thick forest of Casamas. All of these fabrications did not come out of the blue. They were a perfected script by the government of the Gambia to frame the United Democratic Party by killing 2 police officers and injuring 1. Because the surviving lady clearly told us that the person who was shooting at the cops never had any conversation with them. She did not see any person, and they never had any talk with anybody leading to any, you know, altercations that could lead to those shootings. No. This person acted like a sniper and then was just shooting at these people like, you know, somebody who was, you know, a gun mastermind. And you turn around and told us that is Ousainou Bojang, the dude we went to school with and grew up with in the community, in the neighborhood. And my entire neighborhood can attest that this nigga is not a killer. There's nobody who can actually go close to that. But they're not going to say much because what would they say? Knowing fully well that this is our tactics and manipulative behaviors of a government, a regime in place that need to be accountable for the killing of the cops. And the accountability cuts across State House and the Gambia Police Force, including, you know, the current Minister of Interior. He bears a bigger responsibility in this case because pretending to travel to China for this act to happen in your absence was part of the script. We are not dummies. It's just like Yaya Jammeh traveling for Koro to be killed in his absence. Hello. Atol man nyame moti jang. Atol kumal mantaria multi jang. You people did not know anything that people don't. How about your DIG that said he was using codes to actually get the guy from one point to another? Just to realize in court, or for the court to establish that the phone that he said he was tracking was actually left dead without a SIM card in Brufut. Nimma loka modol sorotenu modol bantafala Gambia man. But then you normalize all of that, and then you people go to work at the police force knowing that your colleagues were being killed by a system that you are still working for. And you all already understood, because when we can analyze these things in the way we do, we expect the police to be, you know, twice ahead of us, because you are in, let's say, you know, intelligent officers who actually work in this kind of, you know, criminal cases. But it's either deliberate negligence of duty, or you are deliberately ignoring facts, or you cannot just speak for yourself, because those are not part of your TORs, because you're police officers. But you all know the truth. That is why the DPP would look very funny in the eyes of the public. Because you cannot act funny in a case like that. There are two possibilities. You cannot handle the case, tell them go. Alia police will find because I cannot deal with this case. And that is clearly manifested in your actions. And sometimes your inactions as well. We did not come here to intend to stay long. We just clearly want to find it very interesting and funny that the DPP, instead of coming to cross-examine everything Ousainou said, decided to come to court with a tape measure. Adam Barola Masakunda knows everything about the killing of the cops because the entire intention is very clear. And you know, when they drafted that script, the script was there to tell us, you know, the motive. And the motive in that script was political. Because Nico Nyako Ousainou was at the UDP court case in Banjul. What are you trying to tell us? The motive here is politics. Now, Ousainou, basically, if you tell us that he's the one that killed Pate Jallow, and then it was UDP that was complaining about Pate Jallow, then there is a coincidence in there. If you tell us that he's the guy in hoodie and works in Brikama Area Council, that means he is an ally of Yankuba Dabo, and who was being, you know, taken to court during that sitting. And it was the UDP complaining, so it was entirely meant for politics. That was the script Sankare told us and revealed to us, including DIG So. Wuluman sodo Gambia min tambita wala. Taman sila wala ohnalen ay ragal dekun fi. Boy, wearing a uniform does not make you any extraordinary person. You are just ordinary human beings like each and every one of us. Any one of us can become police officers. You don't even need to become a police officer to really know what's right and what is wrong. Why I tapalengen, I bandis haltengen. That is what Gambians must tell you people. We had enough respect for the police. We had really been law-abiding citizens all throughout. Nobody ever would say, I ever took Malmo to police or whatever. Never. I've never been involved in any crazy thing or whatsoever. We've been very nice and good to the police officers, even on traffic. The best of our friends are still serving in the force. But we cannot watch you people do all these wrongs and we expect that you come to our hood and be lying against our homies in the hood and we expect everybody to shut up. Yan ay nyan. Sikawi ay feninen. Tengen hamne dengan di fen gen buga degal sen fen bi. Dafa mën neka. In a country of conscious people? No, everybody can be quiet, but not me. Not with a homie that I know and grow up with and I know he's not a rebel. He was never hired to kill and he did not kill nobody. And you cannot go to people's house. You will some tara wala perong kandro. You will be ko. Ini waleta ya foko anyin sama dolo dunka police olfa. Does it even make any sense? Does it make any sense? But tomorrow is another day. And subsequent days are other days. Until we have other witnesses who would come and testify and tell you, somebody would come to court and tell you, bro, man mamom dala bi kondo simun. Kon ñaari mbir la de comme ka nga ne ku rey police dala bi la sol man ma mom dala bi kon man ma rey police lolu tamé ngeen establish ko waye en police do len doxal dega do len wax dega te do len doxal dega. That is why I lost trust and confidence in the Gambia police force. And then moy problem so Gambia am jar ngay samba police me bula la je wala ñama ngeen ni ala tuje karu ngala na toñata wala gul wala mu tapale le wala bu ka toñata man. Kadu mol minga tonya tamandi ye wandi ke bare mo dimo fa taxi driver Gambian mo ya fa tilimbal ya nin tajinte ya ko nato liyo mo dal jeki dal ko Canada kabra Canada mo na nal mom public announcement ko ino mo fa la Canada mbul. You never did that. Aliya bulale deliberately min diata aliye drong because pa biro ngolo maybe ata kuno la je ay besang si beside. That is why Senegalese can actually jump into our country and then, you know, do armed robbery and then move out and do whatever they feel like because there is no security in the country. About Douglas Ayen Minister yeah, Gambia is one of the most secured countries in the sub-region. They will not give you the national statistics because you know why? This is how manipulative people that we think are intellects are. No. They serve a purpose, they serve a master. They don't care about the greater good of the country. Because if people cannot admit that something is fundamentally wrong, that means they can never correct it. So if the people in the police and interior cannot admit that crime rates are increasing in the Gambia, how do we expect them to curb the crime rate if they cannot accept that, of course, there is a fundamental problem in our security sector reforms or in our security system, then we need to act to actually correct those things. So if they continue to kind of lie to the Gambians that, oh yeah, we're one of the most secured country in the sub-region. Sub-regional statistics existed way before Gambia was Gambia. And due to our population and, other, parameters that would be used to check some of those things, of course, as a country, looking at our population dynamics and also understanding, the socio-cultural settings of our country and understanding, the sociology of our societies, it's very obvious that we will be better than other countries in terms of security. But compare it, let's say 2005 to 2025. Is it the same? Are the crime rates going up or they are going down? These are the statistics you need to give Gambian. And to understand, is the crime rate going up or down? And then when you know it's going up, then you need to do something to curb it. But if you cannot admit that something is wrong, how can you even solve it? That's the government we have in place. That would buy a bank in 2014 for 900 million and sell it in 2023 for 900 million. Without even knowing whom they sell it to. No proper due diligence, or the Minister of Finance was just dilly-dallying about it. Or also acting cheeky because he doesn't care. Just like the Minister of Environment told us that everybody who works at forestry is rude and indisciplined because he wants to bring soldiers to actually bring back discipline in that institution. What is more disgusting than having a minister having to say that to an entire parliament? And we as citizens feel that is very normal and nobody cares about it. So we can go about our business and have ministers come to parliament and insult an entire government machinery or government department, and that's very okay because they are uncles of the president. This is how we want our government to be run. By criminals and folks who basically can connive and kill police officers who are just, diligently serving the country at the best of their ability. They did nobody no wrong. And the same idiots will turn around and tell you that they are going to those people's 1 year, anniversary. But the Gambians will not really consider this to be something that the government of the Gambia need to be accountable for, because they will see it as politics. We don't care about the politics. Man na kuma ham na ne man ay boy. If nimbe politiko kelamba kela la fadan bla. Nagalo malolde. Politic. Why yo? Go ask folks at UTG. Boy daf lum come sadik lu da nga feka ñu ñola gëna sadik. It doesn't worth it. Sometimes, as you grow, you kind of, I come as a rustuti, I buy and and then you become a better person and, try to do things better. But come new one thing. Why, yo? I tap at the kunfide. Dolan ray I police, but parangen buga fenal nyun sun pako be expect everybody to be silent about it. We can't do that. We will not betray the brotherhood simply because of what? We want to protect ourselves. No. Those who need something from you will be quiet because they need something from you, not me. We will speak for justice. We will speak for the truth, and the truth would come out. Ala DPP said dili dale nyawnya momin fa na record I will ya for je ko mama la audio atol ko ale Ousainou Bojang Mota because mama la record apa fo kan dame ka tele police fa al na record atol ko audio filter al gay samoto min do samoto man ko al ko nyoko abe UDP le fan yala mo fanan atole fe ngofem fontole do man geto nyaare so what atol ka mu atole mu wuliala dibul dabal ka be for Gambian only in relation to the killing of the cops. What do you want people to really actually put a hand on now? What exactly? Nothing. So the government of the Gambia is completely complicit in the killing of the cops and need to be held accountable. And the president's hands are stained with the blood of the cops because it was done on political ground and it was meant to actually ban the United Democratic Party. This is the conclusive statement that I would actually want to make in this case. Nothing more and nothing less. Alia 1 million mindi mama la moja le fata Gambia after the killing of the cops. Muna atinalma 1 million bounty ke wala. Nimpa biru mi yalon ko ya dingo fat talimbali anin tajirinte anin jowi akono o fanya aja o sifara. Ali o muta atol jeki dal ko kananda la muna atinalma finti media to ko ali nyindol ke nyami. Atol ye kidi wo kidi muta molo bulu people see all these guns that you people actually got from all these criminals and people except for the gun that killed the cops. And that is why you said a DNA cannot be conducted. Look, in criminal investigation, you don't need to go too far to understand who the criminal is. And in this case, all fingers point at the system. But because it is the system, and there is not so much that can be done until the system is ousted, and then we will fight the system until it is ousted, and then you will be accountable for the killing of the cops, because you are the bandits and the criminals when it comes to the killing of the cops. So, ladies and gentlemen, we don't intend to stay too long, but in short, what it was the DPP coming to court with a tape measure, I can't measure in tape, okay. Ega mola bayol measure mena, nga ndama fo kom sungaro mbe kering haftan measure be kering, atambira nin karal la dolda, tape measure dia like I ino eta ko eta samatol measure wala, But yeah, all have a good night. You know, we'll be back here tomorrow. Come nañ ko waxee rek ñoom suñ soonatee rek ñun duñ soonat duñ leen fi may tarfatal ay ni ñun duñ toog ñu leen di xool, you know, ngeen di incarcerate, you know, a homie that we know did nothing with his sister who has no hand in it. Ngeen téye leen almost, you know, 1.5 years, you know, molbe sallay wela salol enjoy wela sunkarol enjoy wolbe mile to be torala wodla, you know, tilimbalian in tajinte akon atol min fane Ousainou bute ka bude ni murbal ni ku ko demolla. We will come back to you after the case. But there are two things involved. Come lu hew barangar. Alberto nyala tamandi la wala nga tonya tamandi mfangay. Why na come obata ya ko, you know, you are wearing uniform and then you can just do anything you want. Hey, uniform wo wuranga patafay ngaji be fatole mole no Gambia. I don't know, these people stress you to a point that you want to say things that do not even worth it. But you know, we just gotta loosen up, and then, you know, there are a lot of people that we respect who are still serving in the force. You know, there are a lot of people we respect. We don't want them to hear us say certain things. But Gambia, you know, it's becoming too much. It's getting us to that level, you know, it's getting too much. You know, this dude has no hand in the killing of the cops. The system is culpable and criminally liable for the killing of the cops. And they are still playing dilly-dally games. Because it cannot be coincidence that a political party is complaining about a party Jallo and then another party Jallo got killed. Obeke no la nyadil. Ali ala ulia be free malko mama la audio miati na ali 1 million odiala. Miati na tole Ousainou Bojang mutanang, you know fangod. You know, alena ali afoko feel that. Na madol ka ale code sol le use pour ko mo do code sol yara ul be mu fania. Say muna na police sol fangatoli ulia for Gambian kole. Why did the police have to lie? Can you tell people why the police had to lie? Do the police have any reason to lie? If you are not guilty, why did you lie? Can a police officer muster the courage and go ask DIG, so DIG mune bula nyimfan ya be fola? Y'all be watching, boy, man ragal lena nak mawalen ko. Gis nga ay ragal bolen gisi regal kesu dele. I have people who were my teachers and they're still serving in the police. You know, kodo you cool. You know, you am ham nak. You know, degu te ham lu ñuy def. I tapale ya fa bari. Ay ñi ñoo xamantene they are just tools for the regime who would be used to actually do all these dirty games. But now you're being exposed in this case. Bi mu leen ko nobody. Da ngeen laal fo leen xamul ñi ñoo leen gëna sadik, da ngeen di dof lu ñi ñoo leen gëna dof. Ali amra ko malka ñim piayu ñamatol min fenke yal ka fa kara wonne mol buute ka tilimbal yal ni sifal beke mo la banko ka. Hey lolu boy be dannale. Ka Ousainou mu dal mu rubal tala ka boy ko mba xam nga ñu, you know, do you know about junglers? Who are you people? You are nothing, ordinary human beings. Some of you empty skulled whatevers. But you know, I don't want to get upset to a certain level. You know, we just hold it at that. But in short, you know, say when in tape mezo la kana kodi ko kana mol single le mezo wala, you know. Ko itale police ol fa mura fo nyanga police ol fa nyami yan fo nje police fa la or whatever mon police ol fa ko e samaro menu samaro man kunna sa ni ko kana mezo ren tape la kam e kana samaro mezo jumala ka mezo ren tape ta ka samaro mezo wala inene wo moy dunia dulal pa wakato mo nganyane kabren dunia baya wulu jumal ne no moy ay Gambia fa mo si fal fa mo bodo fa ko do yenda ka jagal al ko nyi non dolla DPP we Gambia woro mo kana mo samba ko woro ka mo si fal bodo we will be a data man, you know. But anyway, you know, y'all have a good one. It was nice catching up with some of you, you know. Catch you tomorrow because, you know, we wait for what he's gonna come up with again, you know, before we have other witnesses coming in. This cross-examination might take time because the dude is just repeating the same question. You can say video call. What has that got to do with the killing of the cops? Bro, you are not even coherent in your... Now, you ask him about what happened on the 12th, on the 13th, you know, let's move, you know. Let's move. Ask the dude what he said. You know, cross-examine him on his own words. Why don't I them on the 13th, ngadelu on the 12th, ngadelu on the 11th, ngadelu, you know, I nyom yoro say the fellas, Bruce be police, Malam for Bruce be police law, for Senegambia police law. There is no coherence, there is no consistency, there is nothing that tells enough about Nonte. If you say that, people might think you're trying to discredit or kind of, you know, degrade our legal system. But you know what? Niamirako, this sector is better. We have a lot of things to change, because this kind of things exposes the system we have in our country. The systems are not working for us. And this is not a blame that you put on, even though I know government is primarily responsible for the killing of the cops. But let's put that aside. We look at the functionality of the government machinery in the Gambia. The systems are not working. What is the problem? And then you got people with big titles and whatever's there, but still the systems are not working. Because they are not working to ensure that the systems work. They are working for the master, and they do what the master wants, not really what the country demands of them. That's the fundamental problem. And these are the basic questions we need to continue to ask, because we don't account our government. We ask too little from the government. They cannot even provide us basic services, and they cannot even deliver justice. They cannot give us security. The basics, the basic fundamental, the little basics we cannot even ask from our government. The police, who are basically there to protect people and their properties, are the ones who fabricate and frame other Gambians. Ita nyanta mini protect la ita ka wol frame. Tapalean in Tilimbali altamidol. Bialaman Rauma Locon. Police sobe yalo go tonya isobe ade la doko la yala doko no. Ni case from mo yeke ko la jimi fentem for malo, because ikala no ko ila ke balaman tonya taman ni jang. You don't need to be a police officer to understand that everything about this case is a fabrication. But that's the system we have in place. And we are very happy to beat you. These are the people that would actually, if these people can go to the extent of framing a Gambian in a situation like this, trying to even frame a political party, is there anything that this government cannot do? But it is this government that told us that Yaya Jammeh is bad. As bad as you people portrayed Jammeh, it was the same Jammeh that Barrow wanted to form a coalition with just for him to remain in power. And you think that man could leave power out of just the blue? This man will do anything and everything to remain in power. And that is why they had to kill the cops in trying to frame and ban the United Democratic Party. Sankare Lomwahip was the government master plan. And the plan was basically from the police, because Sankare Uliamimbe, police turned out and said, yeah, everything Sankare said, we told him. So the police took full ownership of everything that Sankare said. Is that a police to rely on? Is that a police to trust? Is that a police to even consider? A group of criminals who gang up together to frame a citizen or trying to ban a political establishment for a government. Allah ku fo malo. Amalo sembo wata nimmalu dal balla nyaton ko kono tenung more so the DIG. No. Abala forward. And then you commissioner so from anti-crime, it's an affair dal boy for ruslu. Adobe je molka ko do lejibe, because some people are close to you people, and then we malola ben nim wol tema baram ba fudala tembo dodo. When in case albeto nyala taman la je batara yata kela jande. Clearly you people are guilty. Alla DPP behave in court fang. Malula fang tambira wala. How shameful is that to the government of the Gambia? Kale wuli ala la wandi dongkang. But amandang kale wuli ala la wandi dongkang. But on top of it, you become the primary suspects in the case because of everything you had said. You cannot swallow it because they are all on camera. And the citizenry have access to everything that you have said, and then you will be accountable to it one day. Lumbe sila. Tonyabe sabatilal. A civilian government that could actually kill cops and then make it look like, oh no, we know nothing about it. Because alman nyameng. Al kalfong ala nyamen, alfa kalfong ke bandiyo, dalawang bandiya. Yan na kula na bandi, yan ay tapet ngen. Tapet rek mo behave the way you people did. So, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye, y'all have a good night and, budong, ngaya cool velari walto, ngaya suru idea.